Another day, another story. Fajr, Arabic Fajr dawn, is the pre-dawn prayer in Islam. It is the first of 5 obligatory daily prayers which together form the second of the 5 pillars of Islam. The Prophet Muhammad said, the time for performing the morning prayer, Fajr, lasts until the sun rises. The Prophet also said, whoever has time to perform 1 rak'at of the morning prayer before the beginning of sunrise is caught up with it. The theologians say, this and other authentic hadiths on the subject suggest that if a person manages to perform 1 rak'at with all its components, including the earth bow, he completes the prayer in the usual manner, despite the onset of sunrise or sunset. However, it is highly undesirable to leave the morning prayer for the end of the time period, performing it just before sunrise. Mom, it's still dark. Islam felt chilly both from the darkness and chill in the room and from the fact that his mother was pulling the blanket off him. Islam, it's time for the namaz. Of course it's dark. When it becomes quite light it will be too late to perform it, his mother said. She warned Islam that the other day she would start waking him up for morning namaz, and he would perform it with his father and mother. Islam expressed his willingness at the time, but once it came down to it, it turned out to be not so easy. Mom was getting more and more insistent on Islam when Dad's voice rang out from the other room. What is this? Aren't you getting up for namaz? Islam opened his eyes. Mom smiled. Islam's father was strict in the observance of Shariah, and he expected the same from his household and brought up the same traits in them. And if Islam's mother listened to her husband and everything, their restless son sorely needed his father's constant care. Islam was in awe of his father, though he never laid a hand on his son. And so this time, Islam preferred to get up as quickly as possible so as not to hear another stern reprimand from his father. I'm coming, Islam said quietly with some doom. Though Mom was sorry to raise her son, she understood that she and his father were doing a right thing in forming the valuable habit of rising for the morning prayers for his son all his life. Suddenly cold water spurted from the faucet, causing Islam's quiet annoyance and a thought, I wish I could go to bed as soon as possible. Do namaz with half-closed sleepy eyes and go back to sleep, the main thing is not to open my eyes till the end. At this point, Dad was quietly reading the Iqamat, the call to collective prayer for his family. When Islam returned from the bathroom to the living room, where his mother had laid out 3 namaz mats, his father stood in front, his mother a little away, and Islam stood to his father's right, so that his toes were a little farther away from his father's ankles. During the namaz, Islam, afraid of making a mistake or missing time, hurriedly performed the lap bow several times almost at the same time as his father, rather than the way a one who follows the imam in the namaz, should. The silent voice of the father and the recitation of Amin Rabb al-Alamin by the whole family gave such solemnity to what was going on that it seemed to Islam as if they were not in a familiar parlor but somewhere in a wonderful, magical mosque with dimmed light, high domes, and the breath of angels filling the air around with purity and freshness. After reading the Iskars, Dad raised his hands for dua, Islam and Mom said Amin, and Dad asked for the whole family. He asked for Allah's contentment for everyone, for the family to be united on the true path for the rest of their lives, and for great benefit to Islam and the whole Ummah from their small and so sincere family. After the namaz, Islam walked up to Daddy and timidly said, Daddy, I will now always get up with you for morning namaz. The father patted his son on the back and smiled, for this time he was not wrong either, a little persistence in their son loved to perform morning namaz collectively.